Hello, this educational video is brought to you by the Colorado HOA Information and Resource Center. The topic of this video presentation is how to register your HOA with the Colorado HOA Information and Resource Center. The information provided during this presentation is for educational purposes only and is not meant to provide or to be construed as legal advice. Any legal questions should be directed to your attorney. Registration of Common Interest Communities, also known as HOAs. The Colorado Common Interest Ownership Act, also known as Kiowa, requires all HOAs in Colorado to register with the HOA Information and Resource Center, which is housed within the Division of Real Estate at the Department of Regulatory Agencies, also known as DORA. The registration of HOAs is completed online. Every HOA community must do an initial registration and then renew their registration annually with the HOA Information and Resource Center. This registration requirement is set forth in the Colorado Revised Statutes, Section 38, 33.3, 401, and it states that every unit owners association shall register annually with the Director of the Division of Real Estate in the form and manner specified by the Director. This mandatory registration language includes not only those HOA communities that were established on or after July 1, 1992, which is the date when the Colorado Common Interest Ownership Act was established, but also includes those HOAs that were established prior to that date, more commonly referred to as pre-Kiowa HOAs. Master associations and road maintenance associations who hold common property and who have and enforce covenants are also included in the registration process. Voluntary associations, commercial plan communities, special water or metro districts are not required to register. If you have questions of whether your association falls under the jurisdiction of Section 38, 33.3, 401 of the Colorado Revised Statute, Registration Requirements, we suggest you seek legal counsel as to the applicability of the law for your particular HOA. Who can register my HOA? Any authorized agent of the HOA can register for the HOA. Authorized agents include HOA board members, accountants, community association managers, lawyers, and other association authorized individuals. Initial registration of an HOA. An HOA must complete an initial registration with the HOA Information and Resource Center. A newly established HOA, or an HOA that has not previously registered with the HOA Information and Resource Center, should go on to the registration page of the Center's website and provide the required information to establish an initial registration of that HOA. Annual renewal registration of an HOA. An HOA must also complete an annual renewal registration with the HOA Information and Resource Center. HOAs are required to renew their registration annually. The renewal occurs 1 calendar year after the date that the association initially registered with the HOA Information Office. Additionally, if there are any changes to the registration information during the calendar year, the HOA agent must update those changes with the HOA Information Center within 90 days. What information is required to register with the HOA Information and Resource Center? The registration process is a two-step process. The first step requires the registrant to create an online user profile. The second step requires that the registrant input information about the specific HOA. A registrant can only register one HOA at a time, but may register multiple HOAs. First, go online and create an account for an initial registration. On the HOA Center's website is an online registration page to create an initial registration for your HOA. On this slide is the website link. You will need the following information: the name, physical address, and county of the HOA association, the Secretary of State entity registration number, date of incorporation, and type of entity, for instance, corporation, the recording date of the HOA's declaration of covenants, the type of home, for instance, condo, planned development, or cooperative, the agent's name, address, phone number, and email address, and if annual dues are collected, are they more or less than $5,000? If you are renewing your HOA registration, on this slide there is a website link for the renewal of your registration. How to renew an HOA registration. First, log in with your login ID and password. Next, go to Reminders, see the Renew Now link. Next, click on the box next to the HOA name indicating that is the HOA you want to renew. Next, go to the bottom of the page and find the gray box titled Renew. Clicking on it will take you to the payment field. You will be prompted to agree about the payment and the credit card fee. What if you need to transfer a designated agent for your HOA? On this slide is the website link in order to make that transfer. Transferring the designated agent for your HOA. First, log into the HOA's e-licensing account. Next, scroll to the bottom of the page and under the Employment License Status Updates header, click on the Add Remove Designated Agent tab. Next, follow the prompts. Please note that if you do not have a designated agent account, you must create one prior to adding yourself as the designated agent. For assistance in creating this agent account, please contact our HOA Center. If you are a new designated agent and have not updated the account with your new information, or you are a new agent with old credentials, you have 90 days to update the HOA's account with your contact information. Registration troubleshooting. On this slide, there is a website link for you to go to find FAQs and information if you are having trouble registering your HOA. If you are not able to log onto your HOA account, first go to the system and request a new password. And if that does not work, you may email and request to reset your password to the HOA Center. You will then receive a generic password. Once you log in, you should go to your profile and change the password to what you want. HOA registration fees. There is a fee to register your HOA both initially and on an annual basis. The HOA initial registration fee is $30. This fee applies to any HOA registering for the first time. The HOA renewal fee is $33. This applies to any HOA that has previously been registered with the division. Please note that all fees are non-refundable. Associations that have $5,000 or less in annual revenue are still required to register with the center, but they do not have to pay the registration fee. Only associations that have greater than $5,000 in annual revenue are required to pay the registration fee. What happens if the HOA does not register? An HOA that fails to register or allows its registration to lapse may not impose or enforce certain liens and is limited in the actions it may pursue or specific means of enforcement that it may utilize until it is validly registered. This is set forth in Colorado Revised Statute 3833.3 401 subsection 3. An association also must register with the Colorado Secretary of State's office. An HOA entity must maintain proper filings with the Colorado Secretary of State's office. An HOA corporation is established with a registration of the corporation, usually as a nonprofit corporation, and thereafter files an annual periodic report paying the $10 annual filing fee. A certificate of good standing is a document from the Secretary of State's office that shows that the HOA nonprofit corporation has complied with all applicable requirements of and is in good standing with their office. It is used for proof of a valid corporation for banking purposes and must be current in order to complete the HOA's annual registration with the State HOA Information and Resource Center. This has been an educational presentation from the HOA Information and Resource Center. Following this presentation, you will find a short quiz and some HOA resources. Thank you for watching.